Welcome to Saturday of week 18. Our gospel today tells us that if our faith were the size of a mustard seed, very small, then we could say to a mountain, move from here to there, and it would obey. Certainly it's very true that the power of the human mind is amazing. We use only a fraction of our ability. If you add to that the spiritual dimension, recognizing presence of God in our lives, then our potential is unlimited. But we limit ourselves. We hold back all the time. We're very, very hesitant because deep down, I suppose, we're not that sure, or we're not so confident. People who are confident tend to be overconfident in the sense that their confidence relies on themselves rather than their relationship with God. The first reading is a very, very well-known passage from the Old Testament, the Shema Israel. Listen, Israel, the Lord your God is one Lord. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. It's the mantra. It's as much a mantra for the Jewish people as the sign of the cross is for us, in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. It's the essence of our faith, and the Shema Israel is the essence of the Jewish faith. Listen, the Lord your God is one Lord, and you must recognize and celebrate your relationship with him. It's the end of the first reading, I think, that is perhaps most significant for us, because it mirrors something about the Eucharistic prayer, the anamnesis, as it's called. Anamnesis means not just remembering, but not forgetting. There's a big difference. We can remember things just off the top of our head, and we can forget things just off the top of our head as well, of course, but that's not what this means. That's not what an anamnesis is. It's not the remembering. It's a very, very determined decision not to forget. We all forget different things, but there are certain things that are so important that we make sure we don't forget them. I've just put 2 or 3 things into my diary, and sometimes I put them in and completely forget that I've even put them in. But these are important things, and I need to make sure that I remember them, which is an indictment against myself, really, in that, some things that I've forgotten are very important. I haven't taken that moment of anamnesis. I haven't taken that moment to tell myself not to forget. I've just, in a blasé manner, written something down or recorded something, or just kept it in my mind, and immediately it's just gone. An anamnesis is definite remembering. So for the people of Israel, they're told, when you have all the things that you want, when you live in a land, when you have all kinds of things that you were not responsible for, that you have not had to work for, then don't forget. People do. Often people, when they rise from poverty to wealth, they forget. When they come to write their memoirs, they might talk about their poverty, but only for impression's sake. People often forget. They forget where they came from. They forget their responsibilities to where they came from, and the people who were very much responsible for their upkeep, their growth, their well-being. In the Mass, we tell ourselves not to forget the death and the resurrection of Jesus. And so when, during the Eucharistic prayer, we recognize the events of the Last Supper, we recognize the sacrifice of Jesus on Calvary, and we tell ourselves we will not forget. It's a bit like the Remembrance Day anthem, we will remember. This is even stronger. We will not forget. This is so important. For the Jewish people, it was the entry into the Promised Land. It was the real love that God showed them. It's the same for us. except for us, the promised land is the opening of the gates of heaven. God invites each one of us one day to enter our own promised land. We will enter that promised land if we do not forget. Do not forget the sacrifice of Jesus. It's why we celebrate Mass each day, to remind ourselves, make sure we don't forget God's perfect love for us. So thank you very much for listening. Enjoy the rest of the day. God bless. Bye-bye.